Welcome to the Reverend Amanda.
Yes.
What are you doing? Did you not notice that the service has started?
Oh. No, I honestly didn't. I'm trying to get this table set. This is my very first Thanksgiving here, but all of my stuff is packed in boxes. I don't know where anything is. I just can't seem to find anything.
It's okay. It's okay. But just one question. Why exactly are you setting a table right now?
I don't know. Don't worry about it. I'm just doing it. I don't know. I'm setting a table.
Okay, is there any way we can help you?
Well, I don't have anything. All I have is the mismatched place. I went out of my way to bring things, and all I really have is this broken bowl. I showed up, and it was in pieces.
Well, I'm sure somebody can help you with that, and we can always do a lot with just a little, but first, shall we start the service?
I guess so.
Good morning. I am Paula Gribble, Director of Lifespan Religious Education. My pronouns are she, her. Challenged by our liberating faith, we discover deeper spiritual meaning, nurture loving community, cultivate courageous connections, and partner in the work of justice. Welcome to you all on the live stream and in person. We're pleased to have guests with us in this room and participating virtually. I encourage you to reach out to our Director of Member Relations, Kelly Green. Her picture and email are on the screen. This morning's service is multi-generational, and that means all ages are together in the sanctuary for the whole time. Nursery care, however, is available for children under 6. We have large print orders of service, personal hearing assistance devices, and an elevator available. There's also a hearing loop available in our alternate worship space, the Bernstein Room. We have coloring pages and fidgets and things available in the vestibule if that's useful for you, for all ages, for you or your children. A few announcements this morning. Open Door School is holding their annual bake sale and will be in Freeman Hall after the service. The money from the bake sale goes to their scholarship fund. This Thursday, November 28th at 2 p.m. will be our UUCC Thanksgiving potluck. More info and sign up are in currents. And Wednesday, December 4th, there's a visit to the Mint Museum. Meet at the museum at 6 or carpool from UUCC at 5:30. As always, more information is in your order of service and in currents. Again, a warm welcome to each and every one of you, whether you're here in person or joining via live stream, whether today is your first or your 1000th Sunday. We are stronger because you are with us. We are one people of many beliefs, origins, identities, and genders. We are all growing, all learning, all loved. It is good to be together.
Good morning. And welcome again, beloveds. This is a time made sacred by each and every one of us. And in this place, we need not come with all the answers and solutions, but with open hearts and with willing spirits and the joy that comes when we make space for the fullness of who we are. I'm Reverend Amanda, and what a blessing it is to gather yet again. The theme in worship, lifespan religious education, and in congregational life throughout this month has been blessing. And it's been a journey this month. As we round it out this morning with all of us together in this multi-generational space, we'll explore together how blessings emerge in community with and from one another. So we light the chalice this morning for the blessings that are ever emerging in and among us all. We light the chalice with a spirit ready to give thanks and to share hope and to create joy as we continue to build this community hand by hand and heart by heart. Friends, this is the day that love has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I now invite you to rise in body or spirit to turn and greet your neighbor. Come, let us worship together. Oh, please be seated.
So, what do we need for this table?
Well, I don't really have much more than this, including the food. I think we need some food, but it's a little too late, so maybe we could like Uber Eats or Grubhub.
Well, have you ever heard of stone soup?
No, I haven't, but I feel like you're about to tell me.
So stone soup is a great story, and one that our spirit play and elementary classes have just heard. So I'd love to share it with everyone, and I have some story helpers out there. Could my story helpers come forward in this area? Just hang out over there, chairs, floor, whatever. Just nearby. Once, there was a traveler walking a path. The traveler noticed that all the fields along the path were brown. Nothing was growing there, it was very dry. And after a long time, they came to a village with a street lined with houses. The traveler was hungry, so he went to the first house they saw and he asked the people if they had any food to share. And the people at the first house told the traveler they had no food to share because the fields were brown and dry. So the traveler went to the second house and asked if they had any food to share, and the people at the second house also said they also said they had no food to share because the fields were brown and dry. So the traveler went on to the third house and asked if they had any food to share, and again the people at the third house told the traveler they had no food to share because the fields were brown and dry. So the traveler walked to the center of the village and called out, "Good people, since you have no food to share, I will have to make stone soup." Well, the people in the village had never heard of stone soup. Well, they came out of their houses to see what the traveler would do. So the traveler pulled out a large pot from his bag. Big bag fit this pot. He filled it with water and built a fire underneath it. And then the traveler unwrapped a stone that had been wrapped in cloth and dropped it in the water. Splash. The villagers moved closer. The traveler said, "I love stone soup. It's too bad there's no cabbage, though. Stone soup with cabbage is hard to beat." And then one of the villagers said, "I think I might have some." And he went into his house. And then they returned with a large cabbage and dropped it in the pot. "Thank you."
Splash.
"Excellent," said the traveler. "Now if we only had some carrots and potatoes." One villager said, "I think I might have carrots," and another one said, "I think I might have potatoes." And they went to their houses and they came back with the carrots and potatoes and dropped them in the pot. "Great," said the traveler. "You know, this is starting to smell very good. You know, though, the best stone soup I ever tasted had some stew meat in it as well, and it was fit for a king. It could be plant-based as well." Well, the managers? No. They are my managers. The villagers came up with some meat to put in the pot. Somebody have some meat to put in the pot? Thank you. And then somebody brought onions and mushrooms and tomatoes and broccoli and cauliflower and peppers and green beans and corn and zucchini and peas and celery, no, beets, and another beet. Can't hurt to have too many beets.
Yeah.
Are there any other foods to go in the pot? Oh, some other kind of squash. Oh, and beans. We need beans. Thank you. All the wonderful things. Okay, thank you. All of the vegetables and good things in the pot. That smells good. And do you know what happened? That night, everyone in the village shared a feast, and it had all started with one stone. At this time, we will call our children forward to sing.
Well, I guess the food's taken care of. This smells delicious.
Well, what else do you need?
Well, it's looking a little empty decor-wise. We might need some of that.
Well, it does look like there are some people doing some other stuff.
Like, hey, Mallory's making a painting over here. Maybe we can ask her later. And, ooh, it looks like Annie's over here making a bunch of paper things. And I think Judy has something too. They might be willing to give that to us later on in the service, maybe.
Well, and Charles is over here, and he's sculpting something?
Yeah, I didn't have the heart to tell him that the service had started. But I heard that he had just actually made this other really cool, beautiful sculpture that was just installed in our garden. So maybe it has something to do with that.
Okay, Charles? Charles, sorry to interrupt, but what are you doing?
I had no idea. I'm creating something.
Well, why don't you come up to the mic and tell us all about it?
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. That's my cue. Yeah. They don't know what they're doing. Well, hello, everybody. Okay, you don't have to. To an artist, creativity is everything. It is a universal quality of our species, but one we often define too narrowly. We recognize creativity in artists and inventors, but fail to notice its use in everyday life. The story of, Amrita Devi, there she is, the story of Amrita Devi, she is the figure on the right there, is a tale of how an oppressed group of ordinary people challenged their oppressors with little more than raw courage and creative thinking. The story goes like this. In 1730, in northwest India, a king needed wood to build a new village. He dispatched the royal woodcutters to log the forest at Amrita Devi's village. But the villagers there were the Bishnoi, people who regard trees as spiritual beings to be protected at all costs. As an army of woodcutters descended on their sacred forest, the situation looked pretty grim to the villagers, until Amrita Devi devised a plan to save the trees. She told each villager to pick a tree and wrap their arms around it. Hugging the tree, she explained, would stop the woodcutters. Alas, the woodcutters were not impressed. Over 360 villagers were chopped to death, including Amrita and her 3 daughters, also on the sculpture. Yet things turned out well, at least for the trees. After hearing of the massacre, the king relented and stopped logging the forest. And those trees that Amrita and others sacrificed everything to save are still there, still alive in India, though many are imperiled by climate change. But the story doesn't end there. In the 1970s, logging companies started cutting down forests in the Himalayas for profit. Impoverished villagers needed those forests to supply wood for cooking fires. By this time, Amrita Devi had become a legend. Her life portrayed in movies and retold in countless books and one sculpture. Invoking her name, the villagers organized protest in what became known as the Chipko movement. Chipko means to hug, as in hugging a tree. The rebellion, for that's what it was led mostly by women. who walked from village to village, all along the foothills of the Himalayas, teaching others how to save their forests. Eventually, the government of Indira Gandhi stepped into the fray and passed a moratorium banning logging in the region. And news of the Chipko movement then spread to Europe and North America, still inspiring environmentalists today. And now comes the hard part. You all take a deep breath. This is the political side of things. They say history does not repeat, but rhymes. Soon, a new king will be crowned in our land. A king with an army of woodcutters who, amazingly, are all billionaires. It staggers the imagination. An army of billionaire woodcutters. So how do you stop an army, such an army, from chopping down everything that you hold to be sacred? By remembering the lessons of history. From Amrita Devi, we learned that a community, no matter how small, when bonded by common purpose and courage, and guided by creative thinking, can work wonders. At least on a local level. Creativity is the key. Never underestimate its transformative power. At this time, I'd like to thank Kelly and Alicia and the board, and also the people who helped me install this sculpture, which if you haven't seen it, it's right over there, sitting by its lonesome, waiting for people to come by with a plaque. I know that this sculpture will resonate with the congregation. Its message will inspire, I hope. And I know the church is going to take care of it in the years to come. Amrita Devi has found a home. I am grateful. Oh! Y'all hear that? Oh, that's the clay calling my name. Sorry, I can't stand here talking to you all day. I got work to do. We have work to do, don't we? Yeah?
It'd sure be nice to have that sculpture on the table somehow.
Yeah, but I think it's too big and maybe too installed.
Well, maybe there's something else that can maybe represent that, maybe a cute arrangement of flowers. Oh wow, Judy happens to have arranged some flowers for us.
Beautiful.
Well, look at that. My life flows on in endless song. Above earth's lamentations, I hear the real, though far-off hymn that hails a new creation. It doesn't take much reflecting to know that this has been a hard month in which to talk about blessings. In fact, the very concept of a blessing, or being blessed, is challenging in and of itself. What is a blessing when there's no specific deity on high to bestow it? What does it mean to be blessed when so many are struggling, or when we ourselves are struggling? And although the month of November kind of lends itself to the theme of blessing, we also know the history of Thanksgiving itself is complex and complicated. So how do we sift through all these broken pieces of our world, seemingly at odds, and how do we even begin to mend them? This month of November began with an invitation to find the saints among us, even in the most unlikely of places, with a reminder that what is holy will call to us to listen now. And that's within that listening that we build true connection with one another. And as we journeyed to the next week, we found ourselves reeling with the results of the election and tapping into what it means to lean into community at the best of times and at the worst. And a reminder with last week's Community Sunday of just how much this community has to offer one another in the world around us. And now here we are, perhaps left with the same questions we started with, perhaps even feeling a little less hopeful than we started out, and yet we keep finding the blessings, and the blessings keep finding us, even in the brokenness, even in the mysteries, even in the disappointments. Now, of course, we don't need just one definition of what a blessing is or what it means, but in the midst of it all, the words of that old hymn keep calling to my heart, asking one question: how can I keep from singing? Through all the tumult and the strife, the song says, I hear the music ringing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? While though the tempest loudly roars, I hear the truth it liveth. And though the darkness round me close, songs in the night it giveth. Sometimes the blessing is the tumult and the strife and the tempest. Sometimes it is the darkness and the song in the night, but let the blessing also be the echo in the soul and the truth that lives on. Whatever the blessing is for you this morning, let it be. Let it live. And let it sing. Maybe, just maybe, blessing is another word for promise. A promise that in the depths, in the longing, in the joy, and in the sorrows, through it all and in it all, that we won't stop singing the song that's in our hearts. Because when we come to this crowded table, with room for everyone, and we build this community day by day, promise by promise, and blessing by blessing, beloveds, how could we keep from singing? Blessed be.
What a beautiful moment to share with you all. Today we're building this crowded table full of community and all of the parts of ourselves. But sometimes talking about it isn't enough, and even singing about it isn't enough. Sometimes we might want to move and feel about it, and that's what we're going to do now, a body and heart moment. You are invited to participate as you want and as you are able. You are welcome now to stand and body your spirit. Think for a moment about all the things you're thankful for. And reach up to the sky and welcome all that is above and around you and pull it into your heart. Now reach in front of you as far as you can. Gather all the things that lie ahead, because so many things are ahead, and pull them into your heart. Now reach out to your sides, being careful of the people around you, of course, but also being thankful for the people around you. Feel their energy next to you. Feel this community beside and among and around you. and pull them into your heart. Feel them, this community here, and the other people in your lives, your family, friends, teachers, and even strangers. Now, let us remember that you, too, are a part of this crowded table. You, too, are what we can be thankful for, and you can be thankful for yourself. Wrap your arms around yourself in embrace. Feel grateful for all that you have to give, for the fact that you are here now, for all that we bring together. Now pull that energy into your heart. Be seated if you are standing. Pull your arms into your heart, pulling all of the energy we have created with you. Hold it there for a moment. Know it is there for you wherever you may go. Hold it for a moment and breathe. Generosity is at the center of our mission and vision, and it is through generosity that we live our values out loud. What we give allows us to sustain the work of this congregation within and beyond these four walls. When we gather each week, let it be this very spirit of generosity and gratitude, recognizing the blessing it is to carry the work forward together. There are many ways to give to our shared offering. You can see that on the screen. You can text to give at 73256, or you may give directly online. You can also scan the QR code or give as the basket comes your way. Thank you for making this possible, with added thanks to our pledging members for their ongoing and generous financial support. Ushers, you may come forward to receive the blessing, the offering, the blessing of the offering.
When we gather each week, we bring so much with us, our hopes and joys, our concerns, our sorrows, and together in this community, we make space to hold it all. This morning, our thoughts and our hearts are with Mike Searing, as he, along with his family, mourned the recent loss of his wife for over 50 years, Barbara Searing. Mike shares that in her final days, Barbara was safe, comfortable, and cared for. The family welcomes any show of condolences and love. We'll share more information on the upcoming memorial service as plans develop. It should be within the next few weeks. During this morning's time of concerns and joys, we take this time to honor the Transgender Day of Remembrance. On November 20th each year, communities gather near and far to observe this day of remembrance and resilience, a time for honoring, celebrating, and commemorating our transgender, gender non-conforming, and non-binary siblings across the globe. This day comes at a heartbreaking time in our country, with attacks on these communities happening often. Today we will light 3 candles, ritualizing our love and hope as we move forward in these times. The first candle we light is to remember those who have come before us, those who have toiled and labored for a better world, those who have lived their lives fiercely or quietly or unapologetically or in the closet. Each year we know that there are so many lives lost to violent and targeted acts towards the trans and non-binary community, with well over 3/4 of these crimes being committed on Black and brown trans women. We remember their lives today and commit to fiercely and passionately working toward a more just world. The second candle is for joy and celebration for all trans, non-conforming, non-binary people, and celebration of the fullness and the beauty of their lives. May those among us who are allies work to prepare a loving and safe space for those among us who find identity and purpose within the trans community. May we celebrate in our mourning and in our remembrance. And the third candle is for hope. Hope for those who are here and unapologetic and proud, and hope for those who are yet to come. Hope for those who have recently transitioned into their full selves, those who are coming into an understanding of their identities, and those who are helping others in their exploration, and those who are not yet even born. Also, hope and joy for the trans and gender non-conforming and non-binary young ones amongst us. They really do lead the way. May they know that their lives are precious and that they are beloved. May we center and learn from and follow the lead of those among us in the margins, knowing that our liberation is tied up in one another's. May the Spirit of life hover over and protect our trans, gender non-conforming, and non-binary siblings, leaders, elders, children, revolutionaries, and pioneers. We are so blessed to be a part of this beautifully woven tapestry of life, full and rich. May it always be so. Amen. Won't you please join me in this time of contemplation, of stillness, settling into your place, closing your eyes or lowering your gaze, joining me in this time of prayer. Spirit of life, Spirit of love, Spirit that weaves in and among us all, we call into this presence, that Spirit of giving thanks, that Spirit of complicated gifts, that spirit of complexity and exploration. As we move throughout these days, throughout these weeks, throughout this year, we know that Thanksgiving, that giving thanks and holding gratitude will continue to be complicated, and yet it is within us the capacity to keep showing up. We come with so much gratitude for those who are here among us, so much gratitude for the willingness of hearts to come together and create something new. May we hold to one another in these days to come. May we approach this season ahead of us with open hearts and willing spirits, knowing that one moment in fact leads to the next, creating blessing wherever we can and being the blessing wherever we are needed. May we do this holding all the sides, all the angles, all the difficulties and challenges, but may we hold them together in this community. May we hold them in our spirits. And may we never let go of one another. May it be so. Blessed be. Please join me in our singing together while seated, filled with love and kindness. Looking really, really good. We've got the food, we've got some plates and things, and oh, Mallory, that's a really beautiful painting. Can I take a look at it real quick? Oh, wow, beautiful. Can we use that at our table by any chance? Great, thanks. I'm just gonna take this right here. Whole thing. Boom. And, oh,
That's
Annie.
great.
Yeah, look at this. Annie, it looks like you've made a lot of things. Anyway, we can just borrow some of what you
those
have
would be
going
wonderful
on.
on the table.
Oh, look at this. We've got some paper people, some hands, some helping hands. We'll just scatter those about. We'll just do this conveniently. You put tape on it. Wow, you really just were thinking ahead here.
This table is shaping up, isn't
This was
it?
so spontaneous, not planned at all. Wow.
Looking great,
It's just
though.
looking great.
Thank
and
you.
a
Will
flower
you put that on our
and a
table?
golden crane.
Oh my goodness.
This was
Are there
for
other
me that
things people
matches.
have for our table?
Yeah. Oh, look. Some clay Charles has got. He just took some clay and boom.
Oh,
Just like that.
look at that. Oh, wow. That is awesome. These are some great things at our table. It sure is a crowded table. But wait, you still look a little bummed.
I just really wish I had that bowl, you know. I went out of my way to bring it here, and it showed up just broken into pieces and...
Well, guess what?
What?
What is broken can always be repaired.
Whoa,
Thank
what?
you.
Oh, wow. Did the kids repair this bowl using the Japanese art of kintsugi?
Why, yes. Kintsugi, say more.
Well, kintsugi is a Japanese art in which what is broken is mended, but the purpose is for you to know that it has been broken, not to hide the cracks, but to find the beauty in it. And it must have taken somebody a really long time to glue this back together.
Well, it's really beautiful. When you put things back together with something beautiful, you create something new. And there are also lots of art forms like that, like mosaics, collages, even quilting, which is all kinds of examples of putting things together to create something different and beautiful, and finding ways that things belong together, even when it seems like they never could.
Even if it's not perfect and pristine, it can still have meaning and be just what we need.
And we must remember there's room for it all. There's room for us all.
And that things break, but they can always be made whole again.
And that broken or repaired, we all have something to offer.
And that what we don't have, we can find in community. Sometimes we just have to create the blessing for each other.
You can hold my hand.
So this benediction is really a time of gratitude. So much gratitude because these services do not happen alone and I cannot find my notes correctly. So give me just a second. There was a lot going on in this service today. Creating space together each week takes many hands and many hearts. So much gratitude to our artists this morning. We have Annie, Mallory, Judy, and Charles. A week and a half ago, I asked them to do live performance art, which I could not really describe or explain, and they said, let's do it. We need that energy. Also, gratitude for our musicians this morning, our handbell choir, our quartet, our musicians, our pianists, and of course, John Herrick, who was the one who was the glue to the service this morning. And of course, as always, every single Sunday, our tech people in the back, making sure we are seen, making sure we are amplified, working so hard. We do not do this alone. So much happens behind the scenes, so to speak, but really, this is something we all create together, each one of us. Arriving here, arriving online with open hearts and open minds is what makes this place sacred and special. So won't you rise and join me in our closing song?
Please join me in reading the words on the screen. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts, in the You may be seated for the closing music.